Hey everybody, welcome to Bura Tech. In this episode, we're going to be asking the question, which is it better to start off as a front-end developer or as a back-end developer? Which one's going to make you more money? Alright, welcome back. Before I start this video, I want to make sure you like and subscribe. The more likes and subscribers we get, the more content we can make. So one of the things that I get in my inbox literally every week is how do I get a job as a back-end developer? I'm really good at back-end development, but I'm not good at front-end development. Now this is something that's really interesting because it happens so often, so I'm going to address that in this video. Now of course, everything that I try to do is help you be successful, so what that means is that I want to make you as successful as possible from the things that I've learned over my life. Now there's a lot of people that are really good at back-end development, but they're not good at front-end development. And this is really hard to do because one of the things about back-end development is it's very hard to get into. There's not a lot of jobs, and the reason is that the scope is a lot bigger. With a lot of front-end jobs, there's a lot of little jobs that you can do here and there, and what that is going to do is allow you to get little jobs to get more experience. Not only experience with your craft, but with working with other people, which is something you need to do. So there's a lot of reasons specifically why back-end developers don't like doing front-end development, and it's because of the creative work involved. Now, creativity is something that's very interesting. Some people are very talented at creative endeavors, and this is something just like any other talent. It's like sports or math or whatever. And being a front-end developer, I think a lot of back-end developers really don't like that creative part, but here's the thing. If you learn how to do that, even though if you're not talented at design, then you will be better off in your career, because not only are you struggling to learn something new, and that struggle makes you a better person, but that adversity and overcoming that adversity will make you more resilient in your career, because even if you get a back-end development job now, there will be adversity in your career. There is always adversity in your career. Some of it's really big, some of it's really small, but you have to learn how to tackle it. So what I recommend you do is try to be a front-end developer. Now, a lot of front-end development jobs don't have to be designing like a web page from scratch. There's a lot of technical work that you can do, and if you really don't like doing the design work, then I highly recommend seeking out the jobs that are a little bit more technical. But I'm going to give you a tip to designing websites if you're really bad at it. Now, if you're a really technical person, all you have to do is take a few websites and reverse engineer them. Literally just take another sheet of paper and write down exactly what there is. Is there a bar on the side? Is there a bar on the top? What is the font? What's the font size? And once you itemize literally everything in that website, you can look at it and look at that website from a more technical point of view. Now, of course, you could look at just the HTML, but not all HTML on all sites is really readable now. There's a lot of platforms out there that jumble up the HTML and the JavaScript and the CSS, so what I recommend you do is just write down what happens, and if you can, build another website on that formula. Now if you do this 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 times with 10 different websites, you'll start to see that there are design patterns, because really the creativity is mostly about good patterns that people recognize and respond with. If you can nail those patterns down, then you'll be a good front-end developer. So another thing you can do is that if you're not talented at design, you can adopt a minimalist aesthetic. There are certain aesthetics that are hard and some that are easy, but I recommend for literally everyone to adopt a minimalist aesthetic. And the reason why I do this is simply because if you have a minimalist aesthetic, chances are the whole scope of your project isn't going to be as big. Remember, you don't want to overscope your project even if you're making projects on your own. You need to deliver literally just the right amount of scope, because if you deliver scope that is too big, then your projects might fail and you've wasted a ton of time. Furthermore, customers might not even like the scope that you have done, so it's best to release a very small, minimalist product first and then listen to your customers to see what they want. So imagine if I had two people just entering the workforce and they really wanted to be back-end developers. Person one just kind of stuck with trying to do as much back-end development as possible. Now this person might be successful, but the second person, if they started in front end and they slowly moved their way to back end, I bet you the second person would be much more successful. Both of these people wanted to be back-end developers, but that first person, by learning those extra skills, is going to have a much better career. Remember, the more times you start learning new skills, the better you will be at life. And I always say it doesn't matter if it's anything to do with computers or web development. It could be cooking, horseback riding. It doesn't really matter what it is. As long as you're continuing to learn, you will be more successful. And this is the one thing that a lot of people don't do. They finish their high school or college degree and then they literally stop learning. Well, After many years of people leaving this college system, I noticed that the people who continually learn and continue to push themselves are much more successful and frankly richer too. So you always have to be pushing yourself, and if you're just entering the workforce, why not just take any random job and push yourself to do that job in a very good way? Chances are you will be more successful in the future. Alright, so that concludes this video. I want to make sure that you like and subscribe, and if you really like this channel, you can buy our digital products down below. The more money you get from the content that you buy below, the more content we can make. If you really like this channel, you can subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's huge library of content. We release 20 to 60 hours of fresh new content per month every month. Everything from web development tutorials to machine learning tutorials to game development tutorials and more. Our goal is to get to 10,000 monthly subscribers on Mammoth Interactive. We have a monthly and yearly option. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.